there are a variety of ownership structure in the building stock. There are lots of also type of buildings you need to account for. So it's very different if you talk to single individual homeowners who want to improve his nest, and if you talk to a landlord, it's different if you talk to a public owner or a private one, or if you talk to an individual, an SMEs or a large real estate owner. So that's some of the element disclaimer you need to take into account when you look at the challenges. There are also external challenges that might differ from one country to the others, and lots of technical elements you need to take into account as well. But if you take this aside, and this is a disclaimer, and if you look at, let's say, the main challenges for individual homeowners or small landlords, there you see that the financial and economic aspects remain quite important. In 2021, we conducted a very large survey in Europe among owner-occupiers and landlords. We had almost 11,000 answers, so it's quite substantial. And we saw that 77% of the owners, the respondents, wanted to renovate their house. They see the benefits beneficial for them. Only half of them did or were planning to do it. And among the other half, we could see that 1/3 of them, the main reason was the economic challenge. So it's still the main challenge, but it's not the only one. As I say, there are lots of external aspects you need to take into account, but there are also lots of behavioral elements. If you take the renovation process, there are several stages, let's say 4 or 5 stages. So from getting to understand the process, getting to take the decision, plan and do the renovation. And at each of these stages you will have different challenges. But among the main challenges we can mention here, you have things like the disruption effect. So you don't want the renovation work to take place around you. You also have the hassle of all the renovation process. You also have a lack of information, probably the first aspect. So you don't know that you want to do something, what to do, how to do it, how to proceed. You also have a risk aversion. I think most individuals are quite risk averse. And then, of course, you also have a decision-making aspect. So if you are a single owner, it might be easier for you to take the decision. If you are to take the decision with many other co-owners, it might be more difficult. So that's only a couple of elements, but also the trust element, trust in professional, trust in the renovation. You don't necessarily see the benefit, or you believe there will be some benefit or no benefit. So there are lots of elements, but they are quite well documented. And I think the main aspect we need to take into account here is the fact that in order to do good policy, in order to provide good support measures, we need to take into account all these elements. And nowadays, I think it's something we try to do more systematically, and there are lots of new tools in place in order to ease this process. There are lots of new things, there are lots of innovation in the sector, but what we see also is that property owners like the more traditional type of financial solution, financial incentive. Again, if I come back to this very large survey we conducted, we see that more half of respondents really focus on grants and subsidy. This is still the main aspect, the main incentive that they recognize as making them taking the decision to renovate. So this being said, then you see that after that it's more like tax advantage, tax credit that might also foster the decision. So it can be the tax credit on your income tax. It could be on property tax. It could be VAT. Of course, VAT is also very relevant when it comes to renovation. And then you see that other schemes are less interesting or maybe less known, especially, for example, loans. You could think that people are very interested in loans. It's still a loan is a loan. You still have to repay it, and I think that's the main reason why it's not as popular as other type of scheme. This being said, things have changed since 2021. Now interest rate quadrupled since then. But what we do is we really try to promote new solutions. And there are innovative elements. A very new example, which is kind of still a niche, but starting to get quite relevant in some places, is, for example, creating local energy communities, selling your energy to the local network, and with this income trying to renovate your property. So this is something we're starting, for example, in Brussels, and this is something that we see our members are very interested in. This being said, talking about finance, having the scheme in place is one thing. The most important element is how easy it is to access them. If you have a complex scheme, if you have a lot of bureaucracy, if you have very high requirements, people will not get interested. They will not go through the entire process, and that's the key aspect. And also the long-term planning. We see lots of new incentive coming in, being scrapped after 1 year, 2 years. So this creates a lot of uncertainty as well on the market. I think local authority, they are here, they are close to the citizen. They know their local market, they know the local real estate market, they know the type of ownership they are dealing with. So they are a key actors. They also can plan. We are talking a lot about replacing heating system, for example. This is beyond renovation, but this is part of our renovation process. We need local plan in order to replace or heating. As an individual, you need to know what is going to be planned locally. If you will soon have district heating, if you remain with gas, if the gas network will still there in 10 or 15 years. So this is the kind of information you need. So the planning, it's very important at local level. And the decarbonization will not only happen at the building level, but it will also happen at the local neighborhood level. So local authority have a role to play here. If I may then focus more on the one-stop shop. I was mentioning before all these very important steps in a renovation process, where there are so many challenges at each of the steps that it's easy to drop off. And here the one-stop shop, it can almost take the hand of the owners and help them to go through all these steps. So from first step, providing information, all set of information, where to find funding, where to find the information. It can also provide some technical advice, technical solution by doing audit, by going on site, telling the owner what they can do. Then there is also the financial aspect. I was mentioning that before. It needs to be simple, and if the one-stop shop can help the owner to go through these financial hurdles, so help them to access the funding, help them to do the paperwork, help them to do a budget, that's very useful. And then the next step is really the project management, but this is for more advanced type of one-stop shop. And there you can really go from just giving a list of professionals to really manage the project, but this is much more advanced. And then you even have a post-renovation part where you can monitor the energy consumption and help the owners to adapt their behavior. Here, this can be done at local level, it can be done by local authority, but not only. I think what is important with one-stop shop is that they need to be neutral and independent. That's the key, because they need to be trusted by the owners. And in order to be trusted, I think they need to be involved the local association of consumers, local association of owners, eventually local representatives from the industry, the different experts and the different craftsmen association, etc., in order to set a good local one-stop shop. So it's beyond just the local authority, but I think now with the PBD, we see that there is a strong push for one-stop shop. There are quite substantial requirement for member states, so to set a one-stop shop for, I think, every 80,000 citizens, and is where the local authority will have a lot to do, because it's very resource intensive. It's not only about setting them, but it's about maintaining them in the long run. And the more service they provide, the more resources, the more staff they need. And this is going to be partly in the hand of local authority. I think all association, we really have a responsibility. Our main responsibility is, of course, towards our members. We need to promote their interests, we need to share their needs, we need to share their concerns. We do that at European level. Our national association do that at national or even local level. So that's probably our main responsibility. But we also have another responsibility toward our members and toward the society is to prepare our members for what's coming next for the future. So make sure that their property are future-proof, and this includes, of course, making the house more sustainable. What we try to do and what our members are trying to do is really advise our members, tell them, showcase a different solution, remaining, of course, technology neutral, because this is very important. This is also our role. We are not there to promote any technology. We need to promote the best solution for the individual. So what we as UIPI try to do is also bring this European agenda, so the European Green Agenda, closer to the individual homeowners. And a few years ago we set something called UIPI Renovation Tour. So it's a drop in the ocean, but we go to different member states, and we have a day of discussion between policymakers. So it could be European, national and local policymakers and citizens. So we really bring in the room, so individual homeowners. So it could be a young father with 5 kids or 3 kids, and it could be old owners with over 70, or it could be slightly more professional owners. So it's really it's a very different settings. And there we also try to showcase good example coming from different EU projects or coming from different local solutions. So it could be a site visit, it could be inviting the local one-stop shop to present what they do. So it's very successful because it really brings this European aspect closer to our members. But at the same time, I think our members, our local and national association do a lot as well in terms of expertise, providing the tools, helping their member to make this switch and make the transition easier for them.